So welcome all of you again. Today we'll be covering second session of our discussion of Gita Samvad. And today we'll be discussing about who we are. We will be discovering our own true self. We'll be discovering our lost identity, which is one of the most fundamental thing in our own lives. Sometime what happens, people many time ask me, why there is a necessity to know who we are? Why I have to know who am I? How does it really matter for me? So I always give an example. Let's say you go to your company first time. First, you have joined a new company and you're entering into your office first time. And so when you enter into the company, in the offer letter, everything was mentioned apart from one thing. And that thing was your positions, your roles and responsibility. So you're confused there. They have different departments, finance department, accounts department, they have the logistic departments, graphic departments, and things like this. But you are really not sure which department you should go and which department you should work in, and what you should work. And because you are hired by HR, so you just keep on going to different department, keep doing something or other there. Really doesn't make any sense, right? So unless our positions, our roles and responsibilities are clear, till that time we cannot function optimally. So to be able to function optimally, it is of imperative importance that we know who we really are. So similarly, we being in this universe, we being part of this huge creation, of this huge organization of universe called as universe, are we aware what is my roles and responsibility? Because we are not aware of our true position. So unless we become aware of our true position, our roles and responsibilities will not be clear and we will not be able to function optimally in this world. So because of that reason, it becomes very important for us to know that who we really are. And Krishna throws light in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll be covering these few verses from Bhagavad Gita today, that what Krishna speaks about who we really are from Krishna's perspective, which is a true perspective. So there's a one very important verse which comes in Bhagavad Gita and which is the foundation of all the other verses which Krishna is going to speak in this sacred text. So Krishna says, Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatrana muyati. So this is one of the most important verse which creates the fundamental of Bhagavad Gita, which laid down the fundamentals of our own lives. So this particular verse can be best understood by one example. Rather, I would say by one exercise. So what I would suggest you at this point of time is, if you can close your eyes, if you're driving, you don't have to close your eyes, you can just visualize in your mind. I would request you to please close your eyes, be relaxed, be comfortable wherever you're sitting. So at this point of time, I want you to take few deep breaths so that you can relax yourself. So once you are becoming relaxed, now I want you to visualize your own picture when you was 5 years old. I want you to visualize one more picture when you was 10 years old. Like this, you can have different pictures on the gap of 5 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, till whatever your age is this point of time. So now you can make a collage of all those different pictures in your mind which you have gathered. So once you have made a collage of, let's say, 5, 10, 15 pictures in your mind, so can you really point out which is me in all these pictures? Can we really specifically point out this picture is mine and this picture is not mine? And mind you, your photo is changing every 5 years. Your face is changing, your height is changing, your weight, everything is changing. So can you say specifically, oh, this is me and this is not me? All the body is changing. No, we can't say. We know that all of them are my picture. All of these are my picture at different times. But interestingly, in this picture, the body is changing. But there is something which is constant. There is something which has not changed. So what is that who has not changed, and what is that which is changing? So now you can conveniently open your eyes. At this point of time, I would like you to answer in this exercise, what did you realize? What was changing? What was not changing? If you could please type on the chat section that what was changing and what was not changing in this exercise, what we just did now. There was something which was changing and there was something which was not changing. I'm getting a lot of answers here. The body was changing, the soul was same. Body is changing, soul is same, mind. I think the bodies are constantly changing, but your soul is always constant. Physical appearance. Physical appearance was changing. Physical aspects are changing. The body is changing, but the soul is same. It was me. Soul is same. Yes, the face was changing. Inner say. So now, most of you have got the right answer. The right answer, what Krishna gives from that verse of Bhagavad Gita is, let us reread that verse from the exercise what we just did. What is Krishna saying here in that verse? Krishna saying in this verse, you can see this picture also, that is little, not so pleasant to look at. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes at the time of death. So in this point of time, if you see, these pictures are constantly changing. But one thing is not changing, that is me who is not changing. So let us do another exercise, because we learn most by doing more exercises. And the second exercise is, let's say, now you can be open-eyed exercise and you're standing in front of mirror. So when you're standing in front of mirror, how are you addressing yourself? Let's say there's a reflection. If you want, you can open your phone. You can open your phone on selfie mode if that suits better for you. Or if you have any mirror, you can put it as, or you can just visualize in your own mind that if you see yourself in the phone, how are you going to address yourself? How are you going to say who you are? If I ask you, my dear sir, who are you? My dear ma'am, who are you? What are you going to say? So in this, you can say different things. So there are different possibilities. What we can say, that two possibilities. I would first say the wrong possibility, but nobody of us, most of us would not say. We could say I body. We could say I hand. We could say I eyes. We could say I stomach or whatever. Do we say like that? Did any of you think like this, that I body, I mind, I eyes, I hands? No, we didn't say that. What did we say to all of us? To ourselves? I'm a body. Rupabaji is typing here. Actually, if you say in all the conversation, if imagine you're sitting in a Honda City car. If you're sitting in a Honda City car, and if I ask you, my dear sir, who are you? I am Honda City 2021 model, this specific car. You're sitting in a Chevrolet. You're sitting in a Tesla. Now, I'm a Tesla, this and this model of this color. You can keep going to different cars and your identity will keep changing. Does it happen like this? No. So we would say, this is my body. I would say this is my phone. I would say this is my laptop. I would say this is my body. This is my hand. My hand is very strong. My mind is very strong. My eyes are very sharp. If I say my hands are very strong, what does it confer? It simply means I am saying that if I say this is my phone, it means this phone is different and I am different and I possesses this phone. It simply means that this phone belongs to me. Similarly, if I say that this is my body, what does it mean? It means this body belongs to me. If this body belongs to me, it means I am different and the body is different. I am different from this body. From the collage exercise, from this exercise, we can easily make out one interesting phenomena happening to all of us, that we are not this body. We are something different from the body. Even if you say you can analyze from perspective of medical science. According to medical science, it says that every 7 years, all the bodily cells changes. All the bodily cells of our body, 99.99% of the body cells changes of our body. What does it mean? It means that every 7 years, I have a new set of cells, and those cells have formed new body, and every 7 years, I have a new body. It means every 7 years, my body is changing. If I live for 91 years, my body has changed for 13 times. Could you imagine the body which you had 7 years back? Now you have a brand new body. Isn't it fascinating? This is what Krishna is trying to explain in the Bhagavad Gita, this verse, that your body is changing, but there is something which is not changing. So, what is not changing? Me as a person is not changing. The consciousness is not changing. And what is this consciousness about? Let us study one more story. I would tell you one more story before we go higher in the subject. Let's say uh, my friend purchases one Bugatti Veyron. And I remember Praveenji had a desire to purchase Bugatti Veyron. Let's say he purchased Bugatti Veyron and he come to New Jersey and he say, Prabhuji, I have purchased this Bugatti Veyron. And I had this long cherished desire to drive Bugatti Veyron. And I say, Praveenji, can I use it for 5 minutes? Can I just go to the highway and come back? Just have a test drive? He say, yes, please take the key and just go ahead. So I drive, I come out to the highway and I was driving at a 90 miles per hour. I was just checking how far I can go, to what extent I can drive this. Then it became 100 miles per hour. It became 120 miles per hour. It became 150 miles per hour. And suddenly there was a boom. I lost the balance and I hit the curbside and I met with an accident. So now I am not able to move. Somebody calls 911 and police comes. And police asks, who are you? I just say, can you please call this number? And the police called Praveenji. My dear sir, your friend has met with an accident with a car, damaged. So what would be Praveenji's first concern? Would he ask about me or would he ask about the car? And mind you, this body, if you break down this body into different chemical constituents according to the chemistry, according to the chemical engineering, this body is made up of different compounds like phosphorus and hydrogen and oxygen and and iron thing, this kind of things. And my body actually worth, there was a experiment being done, my body worth only $50. All the, if we just break down this body and remove all the chemical constituents, this body will only worth $50. And now there is a car which worth almost $100,000. So what would a genuine kind-hearted person ask, about the car or about the person?
About the person.
About the person.
About the person.
Yes, about the person.
Exactly.
Why?
The person.
Yes. If you see, interestingly, this body worth $50 and this car worth $100,000. So why would somebody ask for a person, not for the car? It means there is something which is very, 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 very invaluable within us, which can't be compared to any body, which can't be compared to anything in this world. If there was one scientist who said that, let's say there was food for 70 people and there are 100 people existing. So what is the most mathematical, most reasonable, most logical solution for that? So you have food for 70 people and there are 100 people. 70 minus 100 is equal to 30. So kill 30 people. Good. So if you kill 30 people, you have 70 people, 70 people, you have 70 people food. Do we do like this?
No.
That is the most inhuman thing to do.
Inhuman.
It means there is something very, very, very intrinsically valuable which is within me, which is separate from the body. It means there's something very intrinsic, very valuable, which you are not able to identify. So from all this discussion, from the Krishna's verse from Bhagavad Gita, from these two exercises what we did, from medical science, from our own this story, we could easily understand that we are something different from the body. So I am not this body. So if I am not this body, then who am I? If I am not this body, then who am I?
I'm a pure soul.
Yes, I am something different from the body, and the something what differs us from the body. So now I would go to one more example to really understand who we really are. Let us say there is now in this Zoom meeting, in this Zoom space, we almost, how many of us are here? We almost 34 of us are here. Okay, and there is 35th person in this meeting. Who is this 35th person? The 35th person is my microphone and the camera here. My camera is watching. As you're watching, my camera is also watching. And as you are hearing, even my microphone is hearing me. So what is the difference between my camera watching me and this audio recorder recording me, and you people having a live experience watching me speaking? What is the difference in both of that? What is the difference when the camera is watching me, it is recording me, microphone is recording my voice? What is the difference between you and that system?
We are watching a body, like a live soul speaking through the body, which camera
Yes, we are
can't
watching.
differentiate.
Yes, yes. Any specific, would you be able to point out what is the exact difference?
We can we can interact with each other, but camera and mic cannot. They are not going to answer you back.
Yes, they are not going to answer me back, but there are AI models which can answer me back nowadays. They can give me feedback. So if you see, the difference between you watching me and this camera and this microphone recording and hearing me, is that the camera can't judge me.
That's true.
The camera cannot have the experience what you people are having this time sitting in your place and hearing and seeing. The camera cannot have that consciousness.
Yes.
The camera cannot have that awareness. The camera cannot have that excitement. The camera cannot have that boredom. The camera cannot really identify all these things. The camera and robot cannot experience me. So it is an experience factor which differentiate me from the robot. This is the most powerful distinction between me and the robot. So where from this consciousness, where from this reasoning, where from that observation, where from that judgment is coming from? Because it is all consciously I'm doing it. Consciously I can choose I want to be present or not present. Consciously I can choose whether it is good or bad. Consciously I can choose so many different things. I'm getting a lot of answers here. Mind, senses. We'll be discussing more about that how there's a simile between our body and the car. That time we'll be having those discussion, those deeper understanding. So basically what's happening here is I am a conscious being who can choose to feel certain emotions at different times. So means consciousness is one such thing which is different from the body. Consciousness means awareness. I'm aware. I can feel. I can experience. I can observe. Like you was able to observe the life into all those pictures in the collage. As 5-year-old, how you were. As 15-year-old, you how you were. As 25-year-old, how you were. You was an observer. You was able to observe all of that. So as an observer, you remain same. The body changes. And the observer remains same because the consciousness remains same. The consciousness is coming from soul. Where from consciousness is coming? Consciousness is coming from the spirit soul. So let us see one example, one beautiful slide here. Let me try to project this. Close that first. So just give me a second. I'll be just sharing another slide with all of you. So yeah, here. If you see in this so it is said that we are not the material body having the spiritual experiences. We are not the body having the spiritual experiences. We are the spiritual being having the experience of this world. So body is not experiencing spirit, but spirit is experiencing this body. Spirit is observing this body. And now very interesting thing here comes is what happens when somebody passes away, when somebody dies. What is really happening there when somebody dies? We say somebody has gone away. Somebody has gone. So who has gone?
The
That
soul has
person whom
gone.
I was interacting with is lying there. He has 5 senses. He has same body. He has same hands. He has same body structure whom I was relating with. But we say that person has gone. Alka ji is saying the
Soul
soul
left the
has
body.
left the body. Yes, the soul has left the
True.
body. Consciousness has gone. If you pinch that body will not retaliate, will not pinch, it will not give you back. I remember when almost 7 years back when I was in Noida, there was one Supreme Court advocate. And to meet that Supreme Court advocate, he had to pay 2 lakh rupees per hour. He was one of our acquaintances. And I got a call from one of my monk mate. He says that, this person has passed away. He was old. He died. Can you please carry some prasadam to his family and convey some condolences? I went to his house. And now the same person whom I met 2 months before, who was charging me 2 lakh rupees per hour to meet. Now, will this person charge me 2 lakh rupees per hour to meet? No. It is same brain. It is same person. It is same eyes. What's happening there? So the consciousness, the soul has gone. So he was able to charge 2 lakh rupees per hour only because of the power of soul. nothing else. That is the power of soul. So the soul is very, very, very powerful, which makes us unique, which makes us intrinsically, inherently more capable of doing what this body can do. So now, at this point of time, I'll just share this the simile
Sir, are you able to
between.
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. It's a big question. Like you told the example of 2 lakhs example, right? Can you repeat that? I missed that.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, this person who just died, he was charging me 2 lakh rupees per hour to consult, to give consultation. So, but now when this person has died, he can't really charge me for anything. All the same brain which was processing to understand my case and to give me some suggestion, to give me some consultation, same brain is existing, who was able to get a lot of money. But now that person can't ask me because that brain is there, but that processor, that person who was processing is not there. You may have screen,
Correct.
but if there is no electricity flowing through the computer is of no use. I was giving that example.
Yeah, got it.
So there was a scientist who asked from Prabhupada. He said, Swamiji, I think that our body is just a complex machine that get worn out and crashes. Why should we bother about some soul powering the body? Just we were talking about that powering, electricity, battery. Now the answer comes. Does your car or computer grow? Do you have a male and female car that can unite and produce a baby car? A living body undergoes 6 changes, whereas the matter just depreciates. It is the soul that makes the body alive. You see, that is the power of soul. So the power of soul is that it can give birth. Let's say you have to have 2 mobile phone which can produce one more mobile phone before they before they die or before their warranty gets over. Everybody would be wanting that particular phone, but there is no such thing exists because there is no soul. Soul is the one which is responsible for any kind of growth. We see growth anywhere, it is because of the soul. So now we can understand that the living body has consciousness, but the matter does not have consciousness. The living body can undergo 6 changes, but the body cannot undergo 6 changes by itself, the matter. So last example what I would give you is the difference, the similarity between this body and the car. So as this body has these 2 eyes, so these 2 eyes can be compared to 2 lamp, 2 headlight of a car. My mouth can be compared to horn, to sound. My heart and pump can be compared to radiator. My hands and leg can be compared to 4 wheels. You may have everything in the car, but let's say there is no driver in the car. And leaving apart the driverless car which are coming nowadays, so can the car function without the driver? Although it may have all the amenities, it may have all the facilities, it may have the best of the engine, it may have the huge horsepower, whatever it is, it may have any kind of facilities and power. Can the car run without the driver? No. Similarly, this car, which is compared to this body, can't, no matter how much beautiful it is, no matter how much intelligent that our mind is, no matter how strong we are, no matter how much attractive we are in our features, but if there is no soul, it won't be able to run. So that is the most important difference between the body and the soul. And the car, so this body can be compared to a car, the soul can be compared to the driver of the car. So we as a person are the driver in this body. And who is the most important? Because we are running the car. So with this few thoughts for all of your minds, I would leave here. If anybody have any doubts, any questions, maybe dwell a few more minutes on that. Any doubt, any questions, any comment, anything what you appreciated from this discussion, what you liked, what you understood. You would like to share something? Okay.
It's clearing
Go ahead.
lot
Yeah.
of things.
I'm sorry.
It's clearing lots of things.
It's creating a lot of things for you.
Like
Getting clarity.
clarity.
So
So my thing is, so
yes, please.
I know I'm not the body, I'm the soul. By realizing it, what am I gaining? I mean, what is the use of it learning I'm not the body, I'm the soul?
So your question is, why are we learning this? What benefit am I going to get by learning that I am soul? First of
Yeah.
all, what we can learn is, as we started in the beginning itself, unless we understand who we are, we will not be able to function optimally. Now, for an example, I'll give you in live examples how you can experience. And for this experience to be experienced, again, we'll do exercise. At this point of time, I would like all of you to close your eyes. Let us experience the benefit. What benefit does it have to know that we are a spirit soul? So I would like all of you to please close your eyes and again take a few deep breaths. Relax yourself and see how your breath flows from your nose, from your heart, from your lungs to your stomach, to each and every body part, and exhale it. Once you have become sufficiently relaxed, I want you to become happy and excited to discover this very powerful truth that you are not this physical body. Any deficiency of this body, any distortion in this body does not belong to you. You may have lot of challenges in your body. You may have lot of difficulties in your bodies. You may have lot of pain in your bodies. But you are simply an observer of all these deficiencies in this body. And this point of time, I want you to think, what do you think is lacking in your body? You may not have perfect height, you may not have perfect weight, you may not have perfect figure or whatever it is. Thinking what imperfection you have, now you can feel that these imperfection does not belong to me. And I am a perfect being with all the perfect qualities as a spirit soul. So although I may be experiencing these imperfections, but these imperfections will go away after some time in a new body, or but at the heart, in my deepest of my existence, I'm perfect spirit soul without all these inabilities. Now I want you to go deep. I want you to see what all emotions are running in you. How are you experiencing your life? You may be struggling with a lot of challenges, a lot of negativities, a lot of sadness, anything which you may be experiencing at this point of time or in your life. Now I want you to become an observer of all these feelings and thoughts. You may be feeling angry, you may be feeling lonely, you may be feeling dejected, you may be feeling isolated, you may be feeling sad, but all these are emotions which you are experiencing. like passing of different pictures in the movie. So you was not sad yesterday, you are sad now, you will not be sad tomorrow. You can always detach yourself from all these feelings. So I am a perfect spirit soul, which is completely blissful, full of knowledge, full of excitement, full of power, full of energy. I can access to all my powers at any point of time by realizing myself to be spirit soul, and I can give whatever this body and the mind lacks. It is not from outward to inward, it is from inward to outward. By getting in touch with myself, by getting in touch with my soul, I can derive all strength, all power, all energies, whatever is required to keep this body and mind in a peaceful condition. So you can experience these bodily imperfections, these emotional disturbances as a changing waves, and you are a constant experiencer, which is completely detached, like a person watching a movie of your own life. So you can be with this vision as much as you want. You can experience what you're experiencing. And as you feel comfortable, all of you can open your eyes.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
As you explained it very nicely. As I was sick for 1 week, I was thinking, oh, I can't breathe, I can't this. But now you have changed my thinking pattern. This body is like going through this, but not inside. It's all only the outer thing. And it's a different way of looking at things. I'm very
Yeah,
happy.
you're
Very happy.
experiencing a transformation. You're experiencing that how you was feeling sick. Your body was
Yes.
sick, but you was feeling sick. But
I'm
this
still,
point of time,
yeah.
your body is sick, but you are not feeling sick anymore.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Gopal Das ji, so you said, like whatever imperfections we have, this is only for your body, not for your soul. That is true, but like I think, that's maybe how about if I accept, what, I'm not smart, how about if I just accepted what I am? Isn't it acceptance is the best way to feel, to move on or to go to the next step instead of, yeah, this is the soul, my body is different from me.
So what you're saying is that isn't it acceptance of reality a better option than
Yes.
considering myself to be spirit soul?
Yeah. Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. So what happens in acceptance? Acceptance of reality is important. Yes, acceptance that this is I'm not this. I have these imperfections. But here point is, who is me here? In this acceptance process, whom I am thinking I am this. In this acceptance process, I'm thinking I am this body. And let me accept the inabilities of this body. But in reality, I am not the body. So the acceptance is not at a real platform, is not at the deepest level. The acceptance at one level has come. Okay, I have to accept the imperfections of my body, but you have to go deeper. Acceptance of me as a spirit soul. And then automatically you have taken care all the other acceptance at all the other levels. So acceptance at the physical level is one level. If you have to go deeper, acceptance of your mind, acceptance of your weaknesses, acceptance of your reality, What is your truth reality? What is your real truth? That I am a spirit soul. So acceptance of body may work for different people at to a different level, but if we really have to bring that huge transformation, that transformation of at all the different spheres of my life, then we have to accept that I am a spirit soul, which is a fact, which is a reality, what Krishna is speaking, what we just discussed this point of time.
Maybe I need to get more matured, because say I'm feeling sad. I don't know how much it's going to help me. It's my body or my mind is feeling sad. My soul is not feeling sad. Is it going to help me to come out of the sadness? I don't. Maybe for mature people, maybe, but not like at my level.
Yeah, I really appreciate your honesty. That yeah, I may be accepting myself as a soul, but I have not realized it. I am immature in that level. I've not realized that myself to be spirit soul. So how much it is going to help me? Yes, till the time I have not realized, I have to accept that okay, everything should be fine and things like that. And even for that, there's a different process. So we can do two things. We can understand our current reality, who we actually are this point of time, and keep practicing whatever we are practicing to keep the body mind in a peaceful condition. At the same time, accept some practices, do some kind of deeper connection with myself, so that I continue to become mature. So understanding
Good
my
answer.
current reality and acting according to that, the same time keep moving ahead in the life of journey
Beautiful.
and developing more maturity.
I'll try this weekend. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Thank you.
I would look forward
We
for
all
your
have to try. I think I have to try too.
so thank you very much. Anybody else? Any experiences what you gain from this insight? What you
Yes.
just did?
Well, like I love learning this session, and I learned that so like I learned that if you have any stress, like that's only your body, but your soul is still happy, and you can still move on in your life.
You can move on in your life. You're very powerful.
Yeah.
Even though your body may be stuck, but I can just move on. I can go ahead. And it is me who is powering the body. I can choose. I have a choice. I am powerful. I have a choice to move forward. I can do that.
Forward.
Thank you very much,
Mm.
Deepak.
No problem.
Anybody else would like to share their realization, their experiences of this last meditation what we had? Something got stirred in you and something came up during all of that.
I have a question. It's not more, I mean, my experience was great. Like I really love that meditation. But my question is if for example, like I believe it was Lakshmi that was saying that she doesn't feel like she's mature enough, and I share that feeling sometimes. Does the way you handle like things in life, does it alter or does it change your soul if you don't get there, if you don't get it?
So you're wondering whether the soul can be changed if you are not able to experience its power. Is that your question?
The experiences in our body, whatever they might be, it could be sadness, jealousy, whatever those feelings might be. Does it alter your soul if you don't get to where you need to get, whatever that is?
So basically what you're asking is, does different emotional experiences changes your soul? Does
Correct.
it make any difference to the soul?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it's like this. I would give an example. If there are a lot of clouds in the sky, so would it change the power of sun?
No.
No.
So these clouds can be compared to different emotions what we are experiencing. Dark clouds, the clouds of our negativity, the cloud of our sadness, the cloud of our anger, the cloud of our so many different kind of experiences. But soul as a sun can choose to penetrate all the clouds and penetrate through it, all of that, and evaporate the clouds. That is the power of sun, that it can evaporate all the clouds. But the sun does not get impacted by all those clouds. So no matter what is happening in this body, what is happening in the mind, the soul is so powerful that it is unchangeable. It can't be changed. Its power cannot be diminished. It can be covered. It can have some illusion like clouds. But the moment we get access, how do we access to the power of sun and bring it out of the cloud? We can experience a huge transformation. And Rupaji just experienced it. She was
But I have to
experiencing.
say, Prabhuji, like it's hard sometimes, especially I have to ask you about emotions, as someone just told, I'm not mature enough, and my level is very like a children. Like I also go through a lot of anger, frustration, sadness, everything, but you can't be um, in that state all the time. So we have to practice a lot.
Yes, practice. We have to
Also,
transform
Gopal
ourselves.
Das, I'm sorry to come in between. Or
Go
we
ahead.
can say negligent, just
Yes.
deny it. Yeah,
Deny.
if I'm feeling sad, you know what? My body is feeling sad, not my soul. Is
It's
it
hard.
denial or is it negligent? I don't know. Maybe that I don't. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah. So basically, what we're
easy
saying
in the
is, let us
beginning.
deny. Let us. They are not existing. Let those emotions are not there. I'm a spirit soul. It is a misapplication of this concept. So we don't deny it exists. We are saying they are temporary. We are not saying they are permanent. We are saying they exist, but they exist for some time. But what do we think in our mind? Always it is going to be like this. If you become sad,
Right.
always I'm going to be sad. If you become depressed, always I'm going to be depressed. My life has become like this. If you're angry, I'm always angry. I can't change myself. So giving up your power to change is the worst thing which we can do. So we are not
Oh.
saying they don't exist. They exist. They are there. We have to recognize them, and we have to see how we can handle them. And we can handle them only by becoming aware. First of all, what do? We just keep on trying to repress our emotions. If I ask you at any point of time, how are you feeling? You would take time to think, how are you feeling? You may not be even able to say, how are you feeling? Real authentic emotions, because we have lost the authenticity with ourselves, that we have given the power to other people and to show that what we really are not. Society wants us to see happy faces, so we'll put up happy faces. Inside we may be miserable, but we really are not checking in. Are we miserable? Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I irritated? Am I lively? Am I grateful? Am I excited? Am I peaceful? Am I content? What am I feeling now? So being able to become aware of the emotions is a first point we have to start with. And once we become aware, then we have to see, okay, they're there. Let me experience them fully. Because more you try to hide, go away from them, more they'll become powerful. You have to experience them. And you can experience them being strong, like standing there as a strong, unless you experience, unless you realize, unless you practice spiritual meditations, spiritual techniques. Unless your soul become powerful, you will not be able to withhold those strong emotions. The key to that is, yes, we can't deny them, they exist, but they're temporary in nature. And that can be possible only when we are in constant touch with our spirit soul. If we have lost the contact from our spirit soul, then we become powerless. Like this, let's say you have a treasury in your house, but you have a huge debt. People are coming to ask that debt from you, but you don't know where is the money in your house. So how will you be able to pay? You'll become overwhelmed. You say, I can't pay because I don't have money. They'll come and beat you up, right? But if you know the key to your locker, you have a lot of money, you can remove some of it and give it to those people. Similarly, whenever we faces those internal disturbances which need strength to face them and to deal with them, we can access to the soul, and we can bring strength from the soul, and we can handle that.
I have one question. How, like, so meditation is the way we can connect our soul, like we can connect to our soul?
Yes.
Like through meditation?
Through meditation. Yes. There's a different process. Will be
That's
going
the
in
only
this
way. That's,
process.
yeah, that's what I want to ask. That's the only way, or there are different ways which we can?
Yeah, there are different ways. You can just try. The way we just tried, it was you just got a glimpse of being a spirit soul. So you start developing knowledge about the spirit soul, being aware that what I'm being in an observer mode. You can start with being in observer mode at any point of time, and you can just separate. Okay, I'm different, and this body is different, and you can start reading more about soul. There are 17 verses what Krishna speaks. I would suggest all of you to read that from 2.13 to 2.3030. You can read those verses, you can get more knowledge about soul, and then you can practice some meditation to experience it. It's a gradual process which happens. It doesn't happen suddenly. It's like gradually shift your development. You become more mature.
So one question that I have, you said to be conscious is to be aware, and consciousness is the unchanging part in us. You also said the consciousness comes from the soul. What is the difference between the consciousness and soul? That's not clear to me.
Yes. So you're saying that what is the difference between consciousness and the soul? I
Mhm.
was looking for that question. Thank you very much for asking it. So consciousness is a symptom of soul.
Okay.
For an example, how you have heat and you have light. So heat and light, if you see, then you see fire is there. If there is heat and light, there is fire somewhere. If there is fire, there has to be heat and light. If you have sun, you will have sunshine. You have sunshine means you will have sun. So consciousness can be compared to the energy of soul, which is like a coming out of soul, and we can touch the consciousness and we can touch the soul. Hope that clarifies your answer.
Yes, thank you.
Really clarifies.
Anyone else have any other doubts on this specific topic? As a spirit soul.
Can you explain that one more time? I was a little confused. That consciousness and soul.
Yeah, consciousness is a symptom of soul. So consciousness comes from soul, like heat and light comes from soul. Similarly, the consciousness comes from soul. Like you have the sunshine coming from sun, so you have the sunshine of consciousness coming from the sun of soul. Is it clear now?